Hello, welcome back to mein Kanal.
Check out my giant melons.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the take care of the what I mentioned in the title and in the thumbnail. Yes, I had COVID, and I've gotten better, and thankfully I'm still alive. And that's definitely not a laughing matter. I just wanted to briefly kind of talk about that. So back in like late January, I would say, I tested positive and I missed a bit of work there, and obviously, didn't really feel like making videos where I'm going to probably be sneezing and probably coughing through the whole thing. I tried that last year when I had bronchitis, and I tried to do a couple of vlogs of the HBO's The Last of Us series, and yeah, I was coughing a lot, and those weren't really working out too well. And so yeah, and the thing is, last year when I had bronchitis, I actually did have to go to the emergency room, and of course, I had to go through the whole thing of having to pay for stuff. It wasn't fun, but this time having COVID, it was very mild symptoms. I am vaccinated. I have at least one of the boosters. I don't have this most currently up-to-date booster yet, but I'm probably going to do that pretty soon. But yeah, so obviously, I was doing the best I could to kind of just take care of my health and kind of just relax a little bit and not worry about doing much. So yeah, that's basically it for that. I did have like a fairly persistent cough for a while, but I have since gotten over that. And yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of some of the types of writing that I do. And I've published like 2 books now, and I have started writing another one, and it's also going to be kind of horror, that sort of thing, thriller-ish, those are kind of that's kind of the primary genre that I'm into, is like horror. I also like fantasy and, of course, science fiction, thriller, action. But when it comes to like, the books that I've written, it's been primarily on the horror side, maybe a little bit actiony, maybe a little bit, on the drama side. But yeah, pretty much that's kind of what I write, and that's kind of what I seem to have, the most experience in. Now, for the most part, whenever writing horror, there's always like things to be kind of careful about. I primarily have written just stuff that was intended for adults, so I kind of had a little more leeway there. But this next one, I'm going to try to make more for like young adults and teens, and which means I can't put profanity and other stuff in there that I've had in my 2 previous books. Speaking of which, if you don't mind, feel free to check out my book on Amazon. Buy a copy if you want to. It's available as paperback like this, and it's also available as an ebook. So yeah, you have your options there. So anyway, and that is supposed to be like horror related, kind of post-apocalyptic, but definitely more on the serious side, and it is very much intended for adults. There's there's profanity, there's sexual content. I'm trying to not say like some of the actual words there, and there's some violent, there's some of that content that's, not really appropriate for young readers. So I'm just gonna let that kind of, yeah. Sorry. It's been a long time since I made a video, so it's, yeah. But anyway, back to kind of the horror that I'm trying to kind of experiment with my new book. I'm trying to make it more geared toward teens and young adults. And, from what I've seen from, different, I guess you could say, not really mediums of horror, but like a different, it's like within the horror realm, like it is the horror genre, but then there's different kinds. Like there's children's horror, which, obviously there tends to be a lot tamer because, again, it's for children and you don't want to go too intense with that. And, some of the children's horror that, I've experienced, growing up and have kind of sort of been, you could say, a little inspired by. There's Goosebumps by R.L. Stine. There is Are You Afraid of the Dark, which is actually a little more on the teen side, not so much children's horror necessarily. Goosebumps is definitely a little more geared towards like young children. And the thing about like children's horror is that, you don't want to represent too much like, the deep, dark stuff, like certain people getting unalived, kind of, you don't want to have like super amount of violence, it's something that you want to keep relatively tame, but also have it still be something that, kids can kind of enjoy, maybe get a little bit scared from, because that's kind of what horror is all about. It's about kind of the fear, the scariness, and all that. And, obviously the, the 90s show, the Goosebumps show, it's pretty corny. It hasn't exactly aged well in a lot of regards, in terms of effects, in terms of acting, of course. I mean, but, I kind of wasn't thinking about getting into this, but I'm sure you guys know about the Goosebumps, like, kind of reboot that was done by Disney, and it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, it's just, like, I tried giving it a chance. I really tried. It like went the route of, scary stories to tell in the dark, which also is kind of, children horror related, but at the same time, the images that were accompanied in that book and of course, were adapted into the movie, are not exactly what you would call appropriate for children, but, there's that. But yeah, the Disney Plus Goosebumps reboot kind of went that route where they actually tied all the things together, tied all the stories like the Haunted Mask and the, Say Cheese and Die and just all the Goosebumps stories, and they just, it had all the same characters, which, okay, obviously with the 90s one, the, there was different characters in each episode, and each episode was like completely different. Like it was a true anthology. That's what Goosebumps is. And just to kind of mash those together and make them part of this whole narrative around these high school kids, and yeah, I tried. I gave it I gave it a chance, but I just couldn't get into it. I still prefer the original series, the original show, and yeah. So anyway, yeah, because the writing wasn't really great, and they were trying to modernize it a little too much. And I know, don't take this the wrong way, but it was kind of doing some woke nonsense. Like, sorry, but yeah, they were just clearly trying to appeal to a certain audience in a very condescending way. Like, oh, look, there's this kid that's you know, a little androgynous and also gay, you know, or whatever, and has a crush on this other kid at school, and
and they're both boys.
you know, I say kid, but they're teenagers, they're in high school, but yeah, so that's kind of you know, thing. But whenever I started doing horror stuff, like, it was always intended to be something for adults, but I do kind of want to branch out a little bit and talk a little bit about that. Anyway, I hope to, you know, the weather gets better and, you know, I can do some more archery stuff. I have a review that I want to do and pretty soon, and yeah, let's look forward to that. So thanks for watching. If you want to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Consider supporting me on my Patreon. I'm still trying to make this whole making videos thing sort of a living. I don't have enough subscribers yet, but if you can, you know, again, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. I still have like another part-time job where I can still have some supplemental income, but yeah, so there's that, and consider following me on my other social medias, and yeah, so anyway, yeah, like I said, it's been a long time since I made a video, and, you know, I tend to kind of draw out a little bit. But anyway, bye-bye.